Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome back to Remarkable Reverse Mortgage. This is our series, A Statement and a Story. This is today's statement. Do you see a downside to a reverse mortgage? So is there a downside to a reverse mortgage? What are the pros and cons of a HECM? These are questions that need to be answered. Since I'm a reverse mortgage broker and company owner, I'm a true believer in the loan and in the program, so I'm not going to answer the questions from my perspective. Instead, I'll share what other people have told me, pro and con, upside and downside. First, let's look at the cons of a reverse mortgage. Over the years, I've had a number of people tell me they are not interested in a reverse mortgage. When I hear that, I ask this: could you please tell me why you're not interested? Here are some of the reasons people are not interested. First, they do not want the U.S. government connected to their home in any way, shape, or form. If they have a mortgage, they have a plan for making their mortgage payments in retirement. If they don't have a mortgage, and they do not want to add any type of new mortgage. Another is they have enough monthly money. Or this, they're simply not interested, and that is that. If they're not open to a conversation, I leave that at that. If you look for negative information about a reverse, you'll find negative information. If you search for positive information, you will find plenty of that as well. The downside of researching both positive and negative information is that the most important factor in a reverse mortgage is usually missing, and that's your story. You'll have information. We're interested in your situation. Now let's take a look at the pro side of a reverse mortgage. A wonderful couple contacted me about a reverse mortgage. At that time, the wife had been in cancer treatment for 15 years. And the husband had lost his wholesale flower business in an economic downturn late in his career. They owed about $75,000 on their home that was worth around $400,000. They were getting by on Social Security and a small stash of quickly dwindling cash. We talked, they attended counseling, we completed the loan process and got it clear to close. As we were signing the closing documents at their table, Don looked at me and said, "Mark, what is the downside to a reverse mortgage?" He kind of caught me off guard because at that time I hadn't thought much about a downside. So I tossed it back at him. "Can you see any downside?" He smiled and said, "The only one I can think of is if I weren't able to get through this stack of papers." Here's an update on Don and his wife. About 2 years after we closed their reverse, I got a call from Don. I was on with someone, so I rang him right back. "Hi, Don, it's Mark, calling back." "Hey, Mark, I figured you were so busy counting your money you couldn't answer the phone." I laughed. I wished he was right. He called me about two things. First, to let me know his wife had died, and I'm very sad to hear that. She was a lovely and gracious person who treated me like an honored guest. With her gone, he wanted to know if he needed to do anything different about his loan. I told him no, nothing needed to be done. Then he said, "I've been getting lots of letters about refinancing my reverse. I figured I should ask you about that since you're our guy." I looked at his current value, the interest rate, and his age. His wife was a bit younger. And then he mentioned that his son was now living with him. I asked, "Is your son 62 or older?" "No, he's not." "Why?" he asked. "Well, it could be possible to put him on your loan if you wanted to leave him your house." We refinanced his reverse in his name. His value had gone up considerably in the past several years. Well, that's Denver. He got about $35,000 more in his line of credit, and I was able to pay for the entire refinance. When I can do that, I can do that. And if you're wondering, you probably were. Yes, he was able to get through the big stack of papers again. And that is a real reverse mortgage story. Thanks for stopping, looking, and listening.